Yogurt seems safe. A creamy, tangy snack promising probiotics and heart-healthy benefits. But what they don't tell you is that many popular US brands are loaded with hidden sugar, artificial flavors, and preservatives that can spike blood pressure or stress kidneys. For seniors on heart or diabetes medication, one spoonful could be riskier than you think. Today, we expose 9 yogurt brands to avoid, and 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 9, we've got Yoplait Original, smooth, fruity, and secretly worse than a candy bar. This is the yogurt that's been sitting on US grocery shelves for decades, dressed up as a family-friendly staple. The commercials show sunny mornings, happy kids, and that iconic swirl of fruit at the bottom. But peel back the foil lid, and the truth is cloying. One serving can pack up to 25 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than a Snickers bar, spooned into a cup you thought was healthy. Dessert in disguise. Take a bite, and you'll notice it. The top layer is creamy, sure, but dig down to the fruit and you hit syrup territory. Sticky, almost jam-like, it blends with the yogurt into something closer to a milkshake than a probiotic snack. That sweet blast isn't from strawberries picked at sunrise. It's from concentrated sugar, corn syrup, and artificial flavor. Seniors trying to keep blood sugar under control might think yogurt is a safe bet. It isn't. That 25 grams of sugar can spike glucose fast, straining the pancreas, stressing the kidneys, and forcing blood pressure up. For someone on insulin or heart meds, that light snack could trigger a dangerous swing. Healthy? Only if candy counts. And Yoplait knows it. They lean hard on branding, fruits, flowers, the word original like it means trustworthy. But consumer watchdogs have flagged the brand more than once for hiding sugar under names like fructose and corn syrup solids. According to the FDA's own reports, many flavored yogurts fall into the dessert category nutritionally. The only thing they don't come with is a warning label. One retired dietitian joked on a senior health forum, "You're better off with half a donut. At least you know it's dessert." That's how misleading this cup has become. European regulations are tighter, safer in Europe, yet sold every day in US grocery stores as if it's health food. So what's the fix? If you love Yoplait's texture, swap the flavored cups for plain yogurt and add fresh fruit at home. You control the sugar, not the brand's lab. It's cheaper, cleaner, and your heart will thank you. That fruity swirl is less farm fresh, more blood sugar ambush, and that's just the start. The next, light yogurt, heavy on chemicals. Sliding into number 8, we've got Dannon Light and Fit. Low calories on paper, but loaded with artificial baggage. This yogurt sits in the diet aisle, marketed as the answer to heart health and weight control. The packaging flashes words like light and fit, like you're making the smart choice. But peel back the foil and you get something closer to a lab experiment than a dairy product. Light, only in calories. Dannon makes a big promise, guilt-free indulgence. Yet many of their cups are built on artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose. Both have been flagged by the FDA in consumer reports, with studies linking them to headaches, blood sugar confusion, and even kidney strain. For seniors balancing blood pressure meds, these additives can quietly mess with how your body reacts. Here's the catch. You expect yogurt to be creamy, maybe tangy. Instead, Light and Fit hits you with a chalky texture and a weird chemical sweetness that lingers at the back of your throat. It coats, it clings, and it doesn't taste like yogurt should. One food blogger joked, "It tastes like someone whispered the word strawberry into a packet of Sweet and Low." Artificial sweeteners don't just trick your taste buds, they can confuse insulin response. Seniors managing diabetes may get glucose spikes or crashes even without sugar on the label. Studies out of Europe suggest tighter regulations, while in the US, brands keep pumping cups full of additives. Fake sugar, real risks. And then there's the preservative problem. Sodium benzoate, used in some flavors, is harmless in small doses, but stack it up with meds and weaker kidneys, and it adds stress. That's not the kind of stress yogurt should deliver. So if you want lower calories without chemical baggage, go for plain Greek yogurt. Add fresh fruit, or even a drizzle of honey if you need sweetness. That way, you know exactly what's going in. No chalky aftertaste, no surprise additives. The betrayal here is brutal. You thought you were buying heart-friendly light yogurt. Instead, you bought a costume. Underneath the Fit label is a cup engineered in a lab, not a farm. That Fit label is more costume than truth. Most people never learn which yogurts are secretly harming them, but we'll break it down at the end of the video. Now the next one, it hides candy in the cup. Coming in at number 7, we've got Chobani Flip, crunchy toppings, creamy base, and a sugar avalanche waiting to happen. At first glance, it feels like fun in a cup. One side has the yogurt, the other has mix-ins, little clusters, chocolate bits, cookie crumbs. It's marketed as a wholesome treat with probiotics and a playful crunch. But open the lid, and what you're really holding is dessert dressed up as health food. Wholesome? More like sugar trap. A single flip can carry up to 20 to 22 grams of sugar. That's nearly the same as a frosted cupcake. For seniors trying to control blood sugar, that's a problem. The yogurt itself is already sweetened. Then the toppings pile on more. Crunch now, crash later. The sensory clash is brutal. You've got yogurt that feels gummy instead of smooth, then processed candy bits that stick to your teeth. Stir it together, and you end up with a sticky, candy-coated mess that coats your tongue. This isn't about probiotics. It's about masking sugar with a crunch. Probiotic benefits drop when you overload them with sugar. A senior eating this for gut health could be undoing the very thing they're paying for. Instead of better digestion, they get blood sugar spikes that strain the heart and kidneys. If you're on meds for high blood pressure or diabetes, this fun snack can feel like a trap. Even the FDA has raised flags about yogurt mix-ins. Nutritionists warn that toppings add empty calories without real nutrition. And in Europe, some of these candy-style add-ons wouldn't even pass as part of a yogurt product. U.S. food rules let companies push products that would be rejected overseas. Chobani Flip is a perfect example. If you want crunch, add your own. Plain Greek yogurt with fresh fruit and a sprinkle of nuts gives you probiotics, protein, and real texture without the sugar avalanche. It tastes cleaner, fresher, and doesn't leave you with that chemical aftertaste. You won't believe what's lurking inside. The betrayal cuts deep because Chobani built its brand on being the healthy alternative. Yet with Flip, they've leaned into the candy aisle. Seniors trusting that label for wellness are instead paying for glucose spikes. That crunch masks a gut-level betrayal. Why do you think the FDA allows yogurt brands to use ingredients banned in other countries? And if candy and yogurt makes no sense, wait till you see organic laced with listeria. Landing at number 6, we've got Stonyfield Organic, the yogurt sold as pure and wholesome, but sometimes carrying bacterial hitchhikers. The brand positions itself as the gold standard of organic. Pastoral cows on the carton, promises of clean farming, and labels stamped with the word organic. It feels safe. It feels premium. But even products wrapped in a green halo can hide serious risks. Organic illusion. In 2014 and again in later years, FDA recall notices flagged Stonyfield yogurt for potential contamination with Listeria monocytogenes. For seniors, that's not just unpleasant, it can be life-threatening. Listeria attacks people with weaker immune systems first, often sending them straight to the hospital. What's worse, it doesn't always show obvious signs. Picture this. You open the cup, expecting a creamy tang. Instead, tainted batches carried a faintly sour smell with a metallic tang, a signal something was wrong. But most people wouldn't notice until it was too late. One spoonful could lead to days of fever, chills, muscle aches, or worse, hospitalization. According to CDC data, seniors over 65 are 4 times more likely to be hospitalized by listeria compared to the general population. And this isn't happening in shady brands from unknown factories. This is yogurt, proudly sitting in organic aisles across the country. Purity? Not in practice. It feels like betrayal because organic is supposed to mean safety. Families pay more, expecting protection from chemicals and contamination. Yet recalls like this show that even premium labels aren't immune from sloppy handling and oversight gaps. A whistleblower from a dairy forum once said, "Listeria doesn't care if the cow ate organic grass." That blunt truth underlines the risk. Seniors with heart conditions, kidney disease, or immune weakness can't afford the gamble. So what's the safe thing to do? If you still want organic, stick to smaller regional brands with transparent sourcing and recent inspection records. Better yet, choose plain organic Greek yogurt from trusted local dairies and sweeten it yourself with fresh fruit. Less risk, better control, and no bacterial surprises. And you won't believe what's inside. The irony is sharp. Stonyfield spends millions telling us they're pure, yet the FDA had to step in with recalls. Consumers thought they were buying health, but some were buying a ticket to the ER. That creamy spoonful could come with a hospital bill. Want to stay ahead of hidden food risks? Subscribe now so you never get blindsided by what's crawling in your fridge. From spoiled organic, we thicken the plot with protein-packed yogurt hiding sodium bombs. At number 5, we land on Siggi's Icelandic Skyr, the thick, protein-packed yogurt that sneaks in a salty surprise. On the surface, Siggi's has the perfect pitch. Icelandic roots, clean labels, a promise of high protein and simple ingredients. Fitness blogs rave about it, and the brand loves that minimalist, healthy glow. But peel back the lid, and the story changes. Protein promise, sodium sting. A single serving of flavored Siggi's carries over 9 grams of protein. That part is true. but it can also pack up to 100 milligrams more sodium than plain yogurt brands. For context, that's like adding a pinch of table salt you didn't ask for. Seniors watching blood pressure or juggling heart medications know that even small, hidden amounts can add up quickly. The American Heart Association suggests no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day for people with hypertension. One healthy yogurt can take a hefty slice of that limit in just a few spoonfuls. And unlike a bag of chips, yogurt is supposed to be safe, almost doctor-approved. The betrayal runs deeper in the flavored cups. Take strawberry or blueberry skyr. The texture is dense, almost dry, and instead of refreshing fruit, the salty tang cuts through every bite. Some customers have described it as chalky with a strange aftertaste, not exactly the Nordic dream they sell on the carton. Thick, but tricky. Staff forums have noted how the company quietly reformulates batches with preservatives to extend shelf life, especially for flavored lines shipped cross-country. That clean label doesn't sound so pure once you hear insiders describe it. As one former employee put it, it's still skyr, but by the time it hits US shelves, it's been tinkered with. Why does this matter? Because sodium doesn't just make you thirsty. It strains kidneys, raises blood pressure, and can blunt the effects of heart medication. For seniors already managing delicate balances, it's like throwing sand in the gears. Stick to plain, unsweetened skyr if you like the texture and protein. Sweeten it yourself with a drizzle of honey or fresh berries. You'll get the benefits without the chemical baggage or hidden sodium hit. But here's the kicker. Many flavored cups from Siggi's market themselves as better for you, while quietly tipping the sodium scale higher than competing brands. Consumers think they're making the smarter choice, but their blood pressure tells another story. It's protein with a side of pressure spikes, and sugar-free isn't safe either. Coming in at number 4, we've got Oikos 000, the yogurt that brags about zero sugar but forgets to mention the chemical baggage. At first glance, it looks like the dream option. 000 on the label. Zero added sugar, zero artificial flavors, zero fat. The marketing screams fitness-friendly and heart-smart, but peel back the foil, and the truth isn't so flattering. Zero sugar? Not zero danger. The trick is in the sweeteners. Instead of cane sugar, Oikos 000 relies on stevia and sugar alcohols like erythritol. Sounds harmless, right? Except research shows these natural swaps can still trigger insulin spikes, leaving diabetics at risk. A 2020 FDA review noted that certain sugar alcohols can cause bloating, stomach upset, and unpredictable blood sugar swings. For seniors balancing insulin or kidney meds, it's less clean fuel and more chemical roulette. Some studies have linked heavy use of sugar alcohols to kidney strain and even increased cravings. So while you think you're avoiding sugar, your body may still pay the price. And then there's the sensory side. People describe 000 as having a gummy, almost elastic texture. It sticks to your tongue, leaving a bitter edge that lingers like a coating of artificial syrup. That smooth, creamy look in ads doesn't match the strange aftertaste that clings to your throat. It's like yogurt that can't decide if it wants to be pudding or paste. The 000 trick. Whistleblowers on staff forums have hinted at quiet reformulations. One ex-marketer admitted, "We had to push the zero sugar story, but the product still needed to taste sweet. That's why we leaned on sugar alcohols." Translation: the health pitch came first, flavor chemistry came second, and your kidneys? Dead last. Why should seniors care? Because fake sugar doesn't play nice with real medicine. Blood pressure pills, diabetes meds, and kidney treatments depend on stable internal chemistry. Tossing in unpredictable sugar substitutes is like shaking the table during a delicate surgery. So, if you like the idea of low-sugar yogurt, skip the gimmicks. Choose plain Greek yogurt and sweeten it yourself with cinnamon or a few slices of fresh fruit. That way you control the sugar, not a lab formula. 000 may claim victory over sugar, but it's hiding rough consequences under that sleek label. Ever notice how yogurts labeled healthy often contain hidden sugars or chemicals? That smooth texture hides rough consequences. And if fake sugar wasn't bad enough, the next classic comes with metal shavings. Sliding into number 3, we've got Fage Total, the Greek yogurt giant that turned a trusted staple into a metallic nightmare. For decades, Fage has been sold as the gold standard of Greek yogurt. Thick, velvety, and protein-rich, it built its reputation on simplicity and probiotics. The promise? A wholesome, authentic Greek yogurt that supports gut health. The betrayal? FDA recall notices over contamination, including actual metal fragments found in certain batches. Smooth until it isn't. That's not marketing spin. That's straight from FDA records. Imagine scooping into what you think is a creamy bowl, only to crunch down on a shard of metal. Customers described it as gritty and unnerving, like chewing sand hidden inside custard. It's the kind of sensory betrayal that turns trust into fear. And even when the batch isn't laced with metal, the flavored varieties pile on sodium. Some push 120 to 150 milligrams per serving, far more than plain yogurt. For seniors already managing blood pressure with medication, that healthy snack suddenly doubles as a sodium trap. One cup may not seem like much, but add that to bread, soup, and daily staples, and the numbers climb fast. More salt than your kidneys want, all hidden inside a cup dressed up as wellness. Greek tragedy. The irony? Fage was once praised as the clean yogurt. But recalls and sodium stats show how even giants slip. And seniors are the ones most at risk. Weak kidneys struggle to flush excess sodium. Blood pressure rises. Meds have to work harder. What started as a probiotic boost can end up as a recipe for heart strain. European watchdogs have stricter limits. Once again, American seniors get the short end of the spoon. So if you like Fage's texture, stick with plain versions. Add your own fruit or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Skip the flavored tubs that hide sodium spikes. Better yet, pick lower sodium Greek brands like Wallaby Organic, which keep the texture without the blood pressure gamble. That spoonful of Fage total might chip more than your diet. It could chip your teeth too. Don't go yet. The solution comes at the very end, and it could change how you shop forever. At number 2, Activia by Dannon, the yogurt that smiles at your stomach while sneaking sugar straight into your bloodstream. The commercials paint it as the probiotic dream. Belly-friendly, they say, clinically proven to help with digestion. The betrayal? Check the label. Some flavors pack 18 to 20 grams of sugar in one tiny cup. That's more than half the daily limit for seniors. Gut health or gut trick? The sensory experience tells on itself. It's less yogurt, more dessert cup. Thick, syrupy, with an artificial fruit scent that clings to your tongue. A whistleblower on a health forum compared it to pudding dyed pink and spiked with cough syrup. That's not digestion aid, that's chemical candy. And here's where it hits hardest. For seniors managing diabetes or blood pressure meds, that sugar bomb is sabotage. High sugar intake blunts insulin response. It also weakens the very probiotic benefits Activia brags about. So while your gut may feel lighter for an hour, your blood sugar spikes like a roller coaster. Doctors warn this constant swing puts pressure on the heart, the kidneys, and the meds you rely on to keep them stable. In Europe, Dannon's Activia formula often comes with stricter sugar limits. That comparison stings, doesn't it? Seniors here get the cheapened version, wrapped in green labels and happy jingles. Probiotic scam. And let's talk taste. The natural tang of yogurt gets drowned under syrupy flavors. That so-called strawberry? More like melted candy. That vanilla? Like liquid frosting. A clinical nutritionist once joked, "It's yogurt that wants to be cake." Not exactly the digestive medicine they promise. If you want probiotics without the sugar storm, stick to plain Greek yogurt and add your own berries. Or look for unsweetened kefir, which keeps natural tartness without the syrup overload. Your gut will thank you, and your meds won't have to pick up the tab. Activia might make your stomach feel better, but it's your heart that pays the price. And the so-called kids' snack? A neon sugar bomb in a tube. Finally, at number 1, Yoplait Go-Gurt, the squeezable tube that kids cheer for but parents should fear. The promise is bright. A fun snack, family-friendly, easy to toss into a lunchbox. Yoplait sells it as playful fuel for kids, a yogurt treat without the mess. The betrayal? Each tiny tube hides more than 10 grams of sugar. That's not a snack, that's a disguised candy bar. Fun tube, fake food. The sensory horror hits instantly. Tear open the top and neon goo slides out, staining fingers like melted crayons. The texture is gummy, thick yet rubbery, with an aftertaste closer to cough syrup than dairy. One parent on a food forum called it squeezing toothpaste that smells like fruit perfume. That doesn't sound like wholesome yogurt. It sounds like chemical paste. The sugar spike from Go-Gurt isn't just a kid problem. Seniors grabbing one on the go aren't spared. Quick absorption slams the bloodstream, stressing kidneys and sending blood sugar soaring. For anyone on diabetes or heart meds, this snack sets up a nasty clash. Doctors warn those spikes can dull medication effects, raising blood pressure and straining organs. It's marketed for kids, but the health risk lingers across every age. And then there's the color show. Artificial dyes like red 40 and yellow 5 give it that glow stick look. The FDA has flagged these additives for years. Some European countries restrict their use or require warning labels. Once again, safer in Europe, louder, cheaper, and riskier here. Kid snack, adult risk. Midway through a tube, the sweetness becomes cloying. The fruit flavors taste fake, almost medicinal. It coats the tongue in a sticky film that makes you want to reach for water. That's not digestion-friendly yogurt, it's sugar sludge. So what's the safer fix? Real yogurt cups, plain or lightly sweetened, give actual probiotics without the chemical carnival. Add a handful of fresh fruit, and you've got natural sweetness and fiber that Go-Gurt could never match. Parents deserve better, and so do seniors who just want something simple without the sugar rush. That playful tube is less snack and more sugar IV. But there are a couple of brands that really do it right. Counting up with our first actually worth it pick, we've got Siggi's plain skyr, proof that less really is more. While most yogurts drown in sugar, dyes, or hidden salt, Siggi's plain version strips it all back. No candy mix-ins, no neon colors, no fake fruit perfumes, just a short list of ingredients and a texture that feels like yogurt should. The brand markets it as simple and clean, and for once the promise actually matches the product. Here's the twist. It tastes real because it is real. Spoon into a cup and you don't get syrup or chemical sweetness. You get thick skyr with a smooth, slightly tart finish. No bitter aftertaste, no gummy film sticking to your tongue. It feels dense in the spoon, but it's clean on the palate. That's what yogurt was before food scientists decided to dress it up like dessert. Nutritionally, it does its job without playing tricks. Each serving is packed with protein, usually 14 to 15 grams, and with no added sugar, it won't send your blood sugar soaring. Seniors watching their pressure or taking diabetes meds can eat this without the crash or the clash. It keeps you full, steady, and safe. Compare that to the big brands we just tore apart. Some of them hit 18 to 20 grams of sugar in a single cup. Siggi's plain, 0 added. It's almost shocking how rare that is in US grocery aisles. In fact, many European labels still push for cleaner dairy rules. But here we've been conditioned to expect sugar bombs in disguise. Would you pay a little more for real purity? That's the trade-off. Siggi's isn't the cheapest cup in the cooler, but it spares you the hidden sodium, the candy-level sugar, and the synthetic dyes. And let's be honest, what's pricier? A couple extra cents at checkout or a hospital bill from years of strain on your kidneys and heart? If you need flavor, add your own fruit. A handful of berries or a drizzle of honey keeps it natural. That's the fix. Simple, personal, and safe. No need for lab-made syrups when you can sweeten on your own terms. Siggi's plain skyr proves yogurt doesn't need tricks to work. Less sugar, fewer ingredients, more health. And our last safe pick goes even further. True organic done right. And now for our second safe pick, rounding out this countdown, Wallaby Organic Greek Yogurt. The creamy comfort that actually keeps its promise. After all the sugar bombs, sodium stings, and chemical tricks we've just peeled back, this one feels like a relief. Wallaby markets itself as organic, simple, and honest. And for once, it's not smoke and mirrors. The label is short, the sourcing is organic, and there's no hidden splash of syrup or strange dye. It's proof that yogurt doesn't have to play dirty to taste good. Here's the real difference. You can taste the calm instead of the chaos. Open a cup of Wallaby and it's smooth, thick, and tangy in a natural way. Not neon, not sickly sweet, no sticky film clinging to your tongue. Just yogurt that tastes like milk and culture. Not a science project. The finish is clean, not coated. That's rare in a market flooded with tubes, flips, and 000 gimmicks. Nutritionally, it's one of the few options that plays fair with your body. The sugar is low, the protein steady, and the organic sourcing means fewer chemical hitchhikers riding along. For seniors worried about kidney strain or juggling blood pressure meds, that balance matters. It won't spike you, and it won't trip you up. Compare that to the so-called probiotic giants like Activia, some of which push nearly 20 grams of sugar per serving. Wallaby skips that trap. Even flavored versions stay light. It's the kind of yogurt that doesn't make your heart race before your stomach settles. Gut health without the gut trick. Even the FDA has had to recall big names for contamination or misleading sugar claims, but Wallaby hasn't carried the same baggage. Critics have long pointed out how US consumers get the risky end of the deal compared to Europe, where stricter limits keep added sugar in check. Wallaby is one of the rare American brands that feels like it belongs in the safer category. If you've been burned by neon Go-Gurts or sodium-packed skyr cups, Wallaby is your fix. You don't need candy toppings to make yogurt a meal. Add your own fresh fruit or stir in some nuts. It stays wholesome because you control what goes in. Wallaby proves that creamy comfort doesn't have to betray you. Proof that yogurt doesn't have to be a gamble. Don't risk your health on hidden sugars and additives. Subscribe now, and I'll show you which yogurts are truly safe and worth your trust every week.